What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. Today's video is going to be another dive into some of the fan concept community creations, but this time we're going to be focusing on something a little bit different, and that is VFX or visual effects design. Making really cool particle effects is really important for Riot because it gives them a great opportunity to build on a champion's thematic as well as their gameplay satisfaction. At the same time, they're kind of limited because there's so many visual effects happening at every stage of the game, so they kind of have to be careful to not be too distracting while still being awesome. So today we're looking at a bunch of community VFX creations to see if they can maybe hold up to Riot's high standards. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like on it or let us know in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe for some more videos. So our first 4 champion VFX for today are actually all by the same VFX artist. His name is Kevin Leeroy. You guys might know him as Sir Han from some of our previous videos. I believe he does actually work for Riot now, but he didn't at the time of making these VFX, or I believe maybe these were some that he used during his application to Riot. Either way, they're awesome, so let's jump right into it. His first set of VFX for today are based on a badass fan art skin for Viktor called Cosmic Radiance by artist Ewcom. Kevin switched up the name to Cosmic Reaver to better suit Viktor's menacing personality. The skin is essentially a combination of a galactic theme like Aurelion's soul, but adapted to suit Viktor's more mechanical style. Let's start with his auto attacks, which are relatively simple but really clean looking. It takes the appearance of a little beam of light that travels in a slightly jagged path towards the enemy. Next up is the Q, which sends out an orange particle wave that will rebound and return to Viktor, shifting the color blue in the process to represent the shield he'll get from it. That shield takes on a much more ethereal form than the typical Viktor Q. It kind of looks like he's surrounded with little orbs of light, which is a common theme across all of these VFX. Viktor's W's up next, and it's probably my personal favorite design of the bunch. It lays down a field that shimmers to represent the distortion of gravity, but it also manages to look really technological while staying true to the cosmic theme. It's a pretty clever design really when you think about it. Next, we've got Viktor's Death Beam, which is pretty similar to the usual except with a blue little color shift, though it takes on more of a rift in reality type of effect rather than the burning of his traditional laser. Finally, we've got Viktor's ultimate, and like his W, it's a very smooth cosmic field with a central singularity that fires lasers periodically. The field rotates over the duration of the ability, which gives it a bit more character, as well as tying into the theme, since hey, it's space, pretty much everything is spinning or orbiting something. Next up from Kevin, again, we've got a Star Guardian Vel'Koz visual effects set, and he's really showing his versatility as a VFX artist because unlike Viktor, this one is pretty meme heavy. He used Vlad Bascu's concept art for this skin as a foundation, then added in all the hearts and stars which you would of course expect to see in a typical Star Guardian skin. There's a big sort of like senpai focus with this one too, which is maybe a little cringy, but also completely intended and kind of the whole joke, I guess. The abilities all look pretty typical to Vel'Koz's usual VFX, but the addition of the Star Guardian theme actually seems to suit him really well for some reason. All the colors are shifted to pink and yellows as you might expect, and his passive marker has been changed to a big little star to let you know how close you are to death by true damage. Something we really like in general about the official Star Guardian skins is that they allow for some really fun and crazy particle effects, but without making abilities hard to recognize or distracting. And Kevin's done an awesome job with his Vel'Koz version, simply because he managed to preserve Vel'Koz's usual ability appearances, but adds in that little Star Guardian flavor without turning the whole thing into a mess. It's seriously impressive work, and I gotta say, probably took a hell of a lot of coding to make it work so cleanly. Our third VFX set from Kevin today is for Farmer Nasus, and yes, we are taking a look at quite a few pieces from the same artist, but it's only because he's really just so amazing, and these pieces are honestly just awesome, and also just really cool versions of his take on sort of like fan skin concepts. Anyways, with Farmer Nasus, he used wheat colored effects to really drive home the feeling of sitting up in top lane and doing some real farming of the minions. His auto attacks are pretty simple, they just cause a little eruption of particles on the target. Activating Nasus's Q causes his weapons to glow with a green flame, and hitting a target causes a much more dramatic explosion of particles, with lots of earthy green and brown colors to keep the theme on point. Now we get into the really exciting visual effects of this design when we look at his take on Nasus's Wither ability, which unlike the name actually causes little flowers to grow in the path of the afflicted enemy. Next up, we've got Spirit Fire, which causes a crop circle-like pattern to emerge with relatively opaque grains of wheat sprouting up in the area, as well as some little orange particle effects so that you know you'll be taking damage if you stay inside it. Last up, we've got the Farmer Nasus Ultimate, which causes a similar crop circle effect to a Spirit Fire, but with the addition of some spiraling particle effects and winds that have a pretty muddy appearance, as you'd probably expect from a farmer skin. The use of color and subtle references to the theme is really the best part about this particular VFX set, and keeping all those effects at a pretty low opacity means he was able to pack a lot of character into the effects without making them too obstructive. And it's a great piece of work, and he's honestly just a fantastic VFX artist. Now this next one is our last piece from Kevin today, and it's Star Tyrant Syndra, which was originally a Rift Artisans project that was ultimately cancelled before he could actually join on it. The concept originated as another creation from Vlad Bascu. As you might expect from the name, it's essentially supposed to represent a potential villain for the Star Guardian lineup. Kevin's VFX for this skin take on a similar appearance to most Star Guardian skins, with a heavy focus on stars themselves, but instead of the usual yellows and pinks, the VFX are all dark purples, blue, and black with bright spots to them. The auto attacks are pretty simple straight line effects with a starry little tip on them, and the cues are very recognizable since they pop into existence the same way as the usual Syndra cues, although with a bit of recognizable Star Guardian type of flair. They almost look like little black holes because of the spiraling effects, although they are Syndra's signature purple in color with the light border. The colors are consistent with the W and E abilities as well. It seemed like they kept Syndra's trademark purple instead of the usual shift to pink for the normal Star Guardian skins, but then used the lighter yellows and oranges so that you know they belong to the same skin family despite the differences. The biggest difference is with her ultimate, which has a little bit of a noticeable delay between each orb being fired, and they look quite similar to the auto attacks while in flight too. It's kind of a shame this project was cancelled because the effects and the concept are just awesome. So of course, after seeing all these epic particle effects, you might be wondering why Kevin hasn't been hired by Riot yet, but I'm happy to inform you guys that he actually has. He's working for Riot, and all these designs were produced before his employment, so they still qualify as fan concepts, but it seems like Riot have finally recognized his talent and added him to their VFX staff. Congratulations to my man Kevin, because we've actually been covering his pieces of work for quite a long time. I think the first time we featured his concept in a video was like over a year ago, so big ups to my man, you're awesome. Now our next fan-made VFX comes from Augusto Godinho, with an ultimate ability for Shurima Lissandra that he created for Riot's Polycount contest last year. Now as the name implies, there's a big Shuriman focus here, with the VFX using the same gold hues that we originally saw with the release of Azir. Lissandra's trademark ice takes on a more jade green color, which does go really well with the sort of gold foundation of the skin. The spiraling snowstorm is instead replaced by a sandstorm, as you'd of course expect, which makes the VFX quite reminiscent of Risen Fiddlesticks too. They share the same gold kind of green color palette, so that was probably an intentional decision or perhaps an inspiration, and the end result looks really awesome. I'd definitely be curious to see how Lissandra's other abilities might function in this theme. Of course, turning ice into sand is no easy task. Next up for today, we've got some VFX for a Chinese New Year Aurelion Soul concept by Bryan Cisneros. The first VFX consists of a combination between a particle trail and a popping effect, which gives an auto attack particle effect like a little firework exploding. Next up is his Q, which is the combination of a firework explosion with a pinwheel to produce a spinning little firework. Instead of his orbiting stars, this concept uses Chinese dragon heads, probably drawing inspiration from the Firecracker Jinx skin, along with an explosive rocket trail. We'd be a little concerned that these VFX might be a little too noisy and distracting, especially for a champion like Aurelion Sol who has them activate 24/7 pretty much, but Riot has definitely made similar concepts work before, and the Chinese New Year themed skins pretty much always do well with the community. Maybe it's worth a deeper look by Riot at some point in the future, but overall this concept is actually just so damn cool. Really one of my favorites on today's list, and I just think it's such an awesome and interesting design and would be super cool to see as an actual skin in the game for sure. Next up for today, we've got Blood Moon Lux, which is visual effects done by Augustus Allen. Once again, it's a full ability lineup, starting with her auto attacks that take on the appearance of a simple but bloody projectile of light. When they hit an illuminated target, the explosion upon hitting that target is amplified, with a deep blue cloud being emitted alongside the red sort of explosion. Next up is her Q, which kind of looks like two of the auto attacks twisting around each other before hitting the two targets and trapping them in the root. Particle effects should always be clear enough that you understand their effects based on the appearance, so the tall cylindrical root effects are definitely a good idea, although they could maybe use a little more refinement. Next up, we've got Lux's W, which is the usual boomerang but with the colors changed, and the shield on return looks a little bit more bloody than usual. Then comes the Lucent Singularity, which is a seriously cool looking design that grows increasingly large and energetic before exploding in a similar way to the illumination procs on our auto attack, only on a much larger scale. Last up, we've got the Blood Moon Lux Ultimate, which has a really awesome casting animation, and the actual damaging laser is really epic and uses those same blood, red, and dark blue hues in a massive straight line blast. I really like the idea of character shifts with skins that turn sort of good, righteous characters, and kind of paints them in a much more darker, sort of intense light. So this is a really cool execution for what a more ominous counterpart to Lux might end up looking like in the game. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's fan-made visual effects. Really hope you guys enjoyed it, and make sure you check out the artists' links in the description to see more detail on the development. You can find the links to everyone's original work down below. And of course, a big congrats to Kevin, aka Sirhan, for getting hired by Riot. I mean, we all knew it was going to happen sooner or later. Either way, looks like that's going to be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.